So one of the most important things for us, for women, is as we age, how our body changes. We always going through changes. And one part of our biology, it's like really we had to go through, childhood and then adolescence, and then now as we get age, we can see. Thank you. Good. Thank you. So we can see how our body's changing, and all of a sudden we feel different. And everybody's different. My mom went whole turkey through menopause. She felt nothing. The only thing she felt it was her period. You go through a lot of period, and it stopped. She was like, no hot flashes, no headaches, no mood change, nothing.
Lucky.
I know, don't you feel jealous? Now she's 92, and she keeps telling, she was eating a lot healthier. She was always moving. And to this day, she comes and helps me chop the potatoes, wash the dishes. She does things always, always. She's not sitting down. She's 92, and I'm very proud of her because she has done so well with her life. I did have changes in my mood and my temper and my things that I can understand, and obviously, bleeding and hot flashes and all that stuff. So I think, in my opinion, everybody is different, but the lifestyle that we have in America, in the United States, is different than other countries. Over there, my sister, she hasn't taken anything, and she exercises a lot. So I thought, that has to do a lot too. She walks and she runs a lot, and she's always, she cannot open a can of anything. She always, natural stuff. Everything cooked at home. So I think all that has to do with something, with our menopause and with lifestyle. So let's go ahead and have Dr. Miller explain what has happened since the last time we talked about menopause to today. Big changes have come, and very good news for you. So listen to Dr. Miller. He has a lot of wisdom.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good to see you. I saw a bunch of people on Facebook, so hi, everybody on Facebook today. And sorry you couldn't make it here, but we're very glad that you're able to join us on Facebook. So, we're going to talk about menopause. And this is a huge thing that we often overlook. I think that a lot of times women just get used to it and say, well, this is life, this is the way it is, there's nothing can be done about it. And I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. So I'm delighted you're here today. And so what is menopause? How does it affect a woman's weight? Does it affect your weight? Yeah. Yes, it does. How can you control your weight during menopause? Does it affect relationships with others, with your significant other? Why can't men understand anything about menopause? After all, it's menopause, right? It's menopause. Why did God design our bodies this way? And so we're going to talk to you about those questions, okay? We're going to try to answer those questions for you today. So what is menopause? Menopause is just a period in a woman's life when her periods stop for 12 months. That's the definition. And it's typically around the age of 50. It can be earlier, it can be later, but that's typically what menopause is. Now, what causes menopause? It's pretty simple. Biology, yeah. Decreasing levels of what? Estrogen and progesterone. Those levels start decreasing, and that's what causes all the symptoms of menopause and stops the periods. Now, there are various stages that you should know about. One is menarche. That's when the periods begin. Then there's perimenopausal. Now, perimenopausal, we've defined menopause as when the periods stop, but perimenopausal may go back 15 years beforehand, even at age 35 or 40, that starts. And it also, peri means around, and so it can even happen after menopause. The symptoms of perimenopausal are the symptoms that happen around that period when periods stop. So menopause, we already said that's when the periods actually stop, and postmenopausal is later on in life after that happens. So that's how God designed our body. Let's look at it a little bit. The physiology of menopause is very interesting. What in the world is going on? That's what eyewitness wants to know, right? So it's all about the ovaries. The ovaries produce estrogen and progesterone. You need to know those two hormones. Those are two hormones that it produces. And it cycles. It cycles. Why? It's about reproduction. It's all about reproduction. So let's look at this. I'm going to have you look at this slide for a minute. Don't get too starry-eyed. The top one is the FSH. That's the follicle stimulating hormone, and the LH luteinizing hormone. That comes from our brains, the pituitary gland. That's the master gland in our brains, right? That's important because that is what tells the ovary what to do. So the pituitary gland tells the ovary what to do. So the estrogen levels, the first 14 days of the period, estrogen levels are fairly low, and then just before ovulation, it shoots up. And you can see up there what happens to the eggs. They're developing, bang. Right in the middle, when the estrogen goes up, the eggs are released. Okay? Then after that point, the egg either lives or dies. In this case, it died. And so what happens, progesterone, the blue line, goes up during the second half of the period, okay? And then you can see at the end, if the uterus is not fertilized, then the hormones drop back down and bleeding occurs because the uterus was made ready for the egg, for the baby, and when it's not necessary, it's dropped off and it starts to cycle over again. So this is a cycle of how menopause works.
What happens to the egg?
It's so tiny you don't notice it. It just comes out with the period.
Pass it?
Pass it with the period.
Oh, okay.
That's a good question. But it's so tiny you wouldn't notice it.
I didn't know what happened to it.
Yeah, it just kind of disintegrates. So, what are the effects of female hormones? Well, what's the difference between a guy and a gal? Well, it makes you sexually attractive, prepares you for pregnancy, it maintains pregnancy, and anatomically what it does, it enlarges the functional breast, it matures the uterus, enlarges the pelvis, and it causes libido and lubrication. Those are all things that have to do with reproduction. So that's what happens with our female hormones. And then what it does in the brain, the estrogen in the brain, it plays a major part in regulating our moods, your moods. It acts on part, well, men have estrogen too, you know, they really do. And women have testosterone. We'll talk about that. So anyway, the estrogen acts on our brains that control emotion. It increases serotonin. You've heard of serotonin, right? The happy hormone. And the endorphins, the dopamines. The feel-good are chemicals in our brains. And so it protects our nerve from damage. These are the good things that happen with estrogen in our brains. You need to know that. Now, let's go ahead and see the effects of estrogen. Just briefly, the heart, it protects the heart from cholesterol and from heart damage, right? Keeps you from getting a heart attack. That's why very few women before menopause have heart problems, have heart attacks. It's mainly a man thing until after they lose the estrogen. After the estrogen is gone, then women catch up with men on heart attacks because they lose their protective estrogen. On the liver, it helps the production of cholesterol and controls it. Bones, wow. Bones become very strong with estrogen, and when you lose the estrogen, the bones become weak, and you develop osteoporosis. The skin, it causes anti-aging. When the estrogens go away, the skin starts to age. The brain, wow, all the things that happen in the brain, memory, libido, body temperature, all those things that we talked about it controlling. The breast, enlarge the breast, the ovaries. It affects the ovaries and the uterus. It makes the uterus larger and ready for pregnancy. So those are the effects of estrogen. Now, the horrific stories. You've heard some horrific stories, and I'm going to just see if anybody today wants to give me some horrific stories. Monica already told some of hers.
You want to give a horrific story?
So, anybody else want to tell us a horrific story or not? Is it too personal?
Well, not really stories, but one of the symptoms I have that's really bad right now is I can't find certain words. Like I'll be telling a story or describing something, and I know the word that I want, but I can't find it.
I've had that. I have that too. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
Brain fog.
Brain fog, yeah,
fog's
brain
the
fog
worst.
is a big one.
You're too young.
And joint pain. A lot
Joint
of
pains.
Joint pain.
Okay.
Huh?
Night sweats and not being able to sleep because it's so
Yeah.
hot.
Can't
It's
sleep.
burning.
Night
Yeah.
sweats, burning up at night.
Listen,
Temperature
it's
control.
true.
Temperature control. See, you lose your estrogens, you lose your temperature control, and all of a sudden these hot flashes are one of the biggest symptoms.
But can you stay hot?
You can stay hot.
That's what I do.
Yeah. What are some other symptoms?
Oh, my
Any-
hair's falling out.
Oh yeah,
Hair
dry
fall-
hair.
dry hair,
It's
okay.
Dry and
Yeah.
brittle. But you know the hair. I haven't had to shave in like 3 months. Like my legs.
Yeah, your body hair goes down.
Yeah.
All the hair goes down.
That
My
can happen to
eyebrows,
me.
my eyebrows aren't as big. Everything.
Lose your eyebrow? Okay. Well, let's look at some of them that are known.
Okay.
First of all, mental health. Let's look at all the things it does to our mental
I
health
haven't had mood swings.
with menopause. Okay, mood
They're
changes,
just not telling you.
depression, frustration, impatience, irritability, anxiety, panic attacks. My daughter, I'm sure she won't mind telling you, she had horrible panic attacks where she had to call EMS, and I'd run over to her house, and it was just unbelievable. She thought she was dying. She just, no matter how much you reassured her, panic attacks, memory problems, difficulty concentrating. Wow, those are all serious problems.
Yeah, I've been having migraines.
And then we have frequent urination, incontinence, urinary infections. Wow. That's only half of it. Let's look at the other half.
Oh God!
Wait, there's more. There's hot flashes. We all know about that. Tired, fatigue, weight gain, the menopause belly that always comes, the vaginal dryness, insomnia, hair loss, headaches, breast tenderness, joint pains, decreased libido, dry eyes, itching, and others.
This is unfair.
It
horrible.
is unfair. And so, in fact, last time people gave me others under others. There's a lot of other things. These are the main ones that are known that almost everybody, to some degree or another, that goes through menopause will experience some of these symptoms. So, yes, not fair. How do doctors treat menopause? Ha 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 ha. Yeah, they run some physical exams, run some tests, and they say everything is okay.
It's just
You just have menopause.
Just
What do you think about that?
nothing just about it.
There's nothing just about it. There's nothing just about it. Right. So the cruel laws of nature that affect women only. Now, premenstrual syndrome, the PMS, we'll talk a little bit about PMS, menstrual cramps, menopause, and metabolism. Those things affect women and not men. And so, it's not fair.
That's what I
Life is not fair. What is it? Women are strong, and they have to be to go through all these symptoms. Okay, so what is PMS? PMS is the luteal phase that we talked about, and look at the symptoms. They're very similar to menopause. The difference is with PMS, they're temporary. They just happen for a couple, 3 days. Okay, it's not permanent. But you look, a lot of the symptoms are the same with PMS.
Yeah.
Every time the period starts, all these things you can read through them: sore breast, abdominal bloating, headaches, appetite changes, emotional things, And so menstrual cramps are different than PMS. It's the period that causes the cramps in the uterus, and so other symptoms are low back pain and so on. So the period is not the same as premenstrual period. So menopause, major health risk. What are the major health risks after menopause?
Heart issues for one, right? Osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis and heart. You're absolutely right. So what happens, osteoporosis, the bones become very brittle. And so as we age, there's like 9 women fractures to 1 man fracture in the hip, for example, that can cause death. Heart disease. You catch up with men very quickly after, because menopause causes these 2 major health risks. The other risks are emotional and physical and so on, but as far as your livelihood and your length of life and these are two big risk factors. So these are the cruel law of nature. Let's look at women gaining weight as they grow older. Have you ever seen that happen? So metabolism decreases at menopause. Women eat half the calories at 50 as they did at 20. Wow, that's kind of, we're still hungry. We still want to eat. So look at teenager, 20, 30, 40, 50, eating the same amount. This is what happens. It just does. It's a cruel law of nature. So we can fight that. How does estrogen affect metabolism? Well, it causes the pancreas to secrete insulin, which keeps the sugar down. That's really good. Nutrient hormones, survival, that's all good. But estrogen deficiency or menopause promotes metabolic dysfunction. And that increases obesity, type 2 diabetes, and all of those things. That is not fun. So, how does menopause affect men?
Mm-hmm.
We have some men here. What do you think, Brian?
It's time to go camping.
That's
what I used to do.
All right.
Time to leave for
They
a
don't
couple
get
of
it. They don't understand it, but they suffer the brunt of it. Okay, here's what we're going. I think we should change the name. I already said that. Everything starts menopause to womenopause because it's a woman problem, not a man problem. Okay. She's going to explain the difference between PMS and menopause, and from a man's standpoint. Okay, Brian, you see if this is true.
I'd like to take just a moment to share with the men in the room and help you to understand the women in your life just a little bit better by telling you the difference between a woman with PMS and a woman going through menopause. A woman with PMS will kill you. A woman going through menopause will force you to take your own life.
So it's funny, but there's some truth to that, you know. So men have to learn. Men have to be very, very kind during this time. It's tough on women. I think more men should be educated and could help their partners to go through this period of their life. And they oftentimes blow it off, or you're just having a hot flash, or the doctors blow it off. It's just menopause. No, these are serious things.
But you know that many divorces happen during menopause? And women don't know how to explain that. So it goes both ways.
So how do we treat the symptoms? Let's talk about that now. We've talked about how horrible it is. Let's talk about how we can fix this, okay? And so historically, what do? Hundreds of OTC medications. Those are medicines you just buy at H-E-B or Walmart. Supplements, Dr. Google, social media. A lot of doctors put their patients on SSRIs or antidepressants. Very, very, very bad idea. That's the most horrible thing they could do to you. Do not ever accept that. That's not the right answer. Broken promises, empty dreams. I always say if you find something that works, go ahead and use it. But most time you don't find something that works, okay? So what helps? We know there are 4 things that help, and then I'm going to tell you about the 5th thing. We end up, okay. Here's are the 4 things that help: diet, exercise, sisters, and supplements. Let's talk about those briefly. If you've been with us for Thin for Fun, you know most of these already, but I'm going to review those very quickly, and then we'll get number 5, okay? So the diet. The diet, remember, on the 12 steps, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here they are. I will avoid sugar drinks. Sugar makes it worse. I will not eat processed food. That makes it worse. I will not eat junk food. I will not clean my plate. It's portion control. I will share my meal with a friend. I will trick my stomach. And so those of you who've been through the 12 steps know what all these mean. But just review those again, because all those are going to help you with the right food and the right lifestyle, okay? Drink plenty of water, as Monica already mentioned. And, you know, there's nothing better than water. Our bodies are 70% water, and all these symptoms of menopause get worse if you're dehydrated. Exercise. So exercise is something that we, Thin for Fun numbers 10 and 11, I will park on the far side, remember that, and I will do whatever it takes. So review those steps and you'll know what to do. Get out in the sun and exercise. That helps. Sister, find a friend. Okay, that's number 2, get a buddy. And so the Lord said 2 are better than 1, right? It's a key strategy in Thin for Fun. Get a sister or a friend with similar issues. They'll help to have a sister to talk to. She will provide encouragement for you, accountability, suggestions, fun, and purpose. Okay? How can I help my sister today? I'll give you a purpose. And then supplements. You know, there's certain supplements that we need. Most supplements, if you've been around me a long time, I say are worthless. And people spend so money on. But there are some supplements that are critical. The first one is what?
Vitamin D.
Yes. Vitamin D. Okay. Vitamin D3, 5,000 units a day. Without that, you're going to be doomed. Vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, boy, that's important for the brain, green tea, probiotics, and fish oil. That's very important for your brain. So those are the supplements you need to take every day at a minimum, okay? Now, what really works, this is where we want to spend our time today. What really works to take away all the symptoms of menopause? HRT and MHT. Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that means.
Hormone Replacement Therapy or Menopausal Hormone Therapy. Those are what they're called. For short, it's HRT. You hear that most often is what it is. And so it replaces your lack of estrogens. As your estrogens come down, these are normal hormones that can keep the levels up to normal level. And it's often used with progesterone. If you have a uterus, you have to use progesterone with it so that it won't cause any cancer. It cures almost all the symptoms, and it's good for 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
All right, so it comes in pills, patches, gels, and creams. Different ways you can use it. So let's talk a little bit more about it. The great news is just a month ago, it's now approved by the FDA. As of November, just 2 months ago, it was finally approved by the FDA. They took away the black box warning. Let's talk about that. It has, it really takes away all the long-term effect, or it increases the long-term benefits of heart disease and osteoporosis, mood changes. So those are the great news of the new FDA regulations. It can change all that, take it back to normal for you. So I've been, as you know, I've been preaching this for 20 years against the medical establishment. A lot of doctors and gynecologists were against me and putting me down. And I said, no, this is something that women should have. And I gave my patients this for 20 years, even though I was criticized for it over and over again. Okay? Listen to this.
I was really struck by something that you said at that announcement, that there's no medication that can improve the health of most women more than hormone replacement therapy. That's huge.
Yeah, arguably, with the exception of antibiotics and maybe a few other medications, there may be no medication that improves the health outcomes of women at a population level more than hormone replacement therapy initiated within 10 years of the onset of menopause. Profound reductions in fatal heart attacks, up to 50%. Now, that's the #1 cause of death in women. We're stopping this fear machine with the black box warnings being removed, and we're getting back to science because women deserve the same good data that we use for men's health. Women deserve to know the truth, and that is it is a nuanced topic, but the vast majority of women who go through menopause, that is 2 million women each year, are great candidates for the life-changing and life-saving effects of hormone replacement therapy. I think medical dogma takes on a life of its own. We as a medical profession got opioids are not addictive wrong for 15 years. We got saturated fat causes heart disease wrong for 50 years. We tend to have a group think, and this is probably an example of a male-dominated historic profession that engaged in a paternalistic approach to an issue of women's health. And so this administration is correcting the record on women's health and giving these issues the attention they deserve.
That was the head of the FDA. What he says is absolutely true. What happened? I think this was the biggest medical disaster of my lifetime, or the second biggest. And that is 40 million people over the last 20 years have been kept from a known cure. That's horrible. Why? Because of fear of breast cancer, fear of blood clots, because of a flawed study. There was a little study done on 60-year-old women 20 years ago, published it, said these women that were taking high doses of hormones got a little bit, tiny little bit more of breast cancer. These weren't even menopausal women. It scared doctors to death. It scared patients to death. We live in a world of fear. They've repeated those studies now, huge big studies now in menopausal women. It does not increase breast cancer. It does not increase blood clots. It does not do any of those things that we were told before. And so it would be a flawed study. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind, okay? I just want to, this is my daughter, and I want us to think about this. We've lived in fear.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Your love has called my name, and I've been born again into your family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
Well, so I want to tell all the women in the audience, on Facebook, anywhere, all my patients, if you are suffering from menopause, you don't have to. I'll be glad to help you out. And if you're overweight, you know, the good thing is, too, they've done studies on the semaglutides and the tirzepatides along with hormone therapy, and they're synergistic. They work to help each other. So maybe if you're on semaglutide and it's not working real good, maybe you need hormones, too. The two together restore your body to its natural form. So I want to invite any of you to contact us. We'll be glad to help you. Monica will set up a teleconference with me, and I'll get you started on whatever you need. So that's my promise to you. Any questions out here today?
Thank you.
Yes, that was
Thank
great.
you.
So we learned something new today, right?
Yes.
I was so happy when the new commissioner of the FDA came out and actually brought these new studies to light and debunked the old study that caused all this fear. So the women have lived in fear for 20 years, unnecessarily, and I'm so sorry for that. I apologize as a medical industry, what we've done to our patients sometimes.
Did he just do that, or has that been a while ago?
2 months ago.
2 months ago?
Brand new. That's why I wanted to bring this up today.
You know, they changed the pyramid too.
Yeah, the pyramid's changing, and that's what I've been preaching too, this
I know.
pyramid. So finally they're catching up with me, right? They're catching up with Thin for Fun. Thin for Fun has been doing this for 12 years, and they're finally catching up. I'm so happy.
The pyramid scheme, remember?
Pyramid scheme.
No, I used that pyramid,
Yeah,
you know.
right,
I think we all did.
right. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming, everybody. Monica, you have any words how to get in touch with us or anything?
Yeah, sure. Well, don't forget to sign up for Team for Fun. And anyway, contact us at 210-363-6455. 210-363-6455. That's the phone number to contact us directly. You'll get to talk to Dr. Miller. And the amazing thing is that you're not just getting, okay, here's a prescription for your medicine or your hormones. You get to talk to Dr. Miller. You get to have a one-on-one. Depends on how you're doing. You maybe want to just go ahead and change your diet and change your habits, and you don't want to use medication. Maybe you just want to use medication, which is, he's not going to want you to be there forever. A lot of people, they are coming to him 6 months, a year, the maximum. You know, many of us over here, we have used it, and it's just a little bit, you know. We just want to go ahead and use it for just to start, because, you know, we're stubborn. We want to have the sweets. We want to eat more. You know, etc. So many of the problems. So we go ahead and follow the 12 steps, especially you have so much of the symptoms, whether you're tired and sleepy. I'm sleepy because I wake up at 4 in the morning. But, you know, I just wanted to change my habits and going to bed at 9, get up at 4, and that gives me more time. I did a whole lot of things today. And it's, you know, I'm changing my habits. That's one of my goals this year. It was to change my habit because I don't have routine. So maybe your goal is to go ahead and eat more fruits, eat more vegetables. Why? Because it's good for you. You know that. I mean, it's not because your mom told you or because somebody's telling you. It's good for you, right? Oh, so we always have a community of people here. Always very important. Join the communities because those are very important for us to continue to encourage ourselves and to love each other and to do, you know, whatever it takes. That is so crucial for growing, you know, for a spiritual growth and emotional growth, to have a community of people that cares for each other, you know. So that's good. Thank you, Dr. Miller. Thank you so much for everything.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.